He has just moved up, and since I've been in this group, he has been flying. So I'm very excited to have him up for his first speaker. Let's give a good round of applause for Wayne Young.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster and Toastmasters and guests. How are we doing tonight? How are we doing tonight? Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So I was sleeping, and as we all do, but I sleep very little. And I just had this thought. I was like, I'm supposed to do this speech about selling. And so I came up with this idea. It's called Story Selling. Now raise your hand if you've ever wanted to be the best. Ever wanted to be your best? Raise your hand. Yes. Raise your hand if you woke up this morning feeling your best. Raise your hand. Did you wake up this morning feeling your best? Absolutely. We got one. Anybody else? No? All right. Well, tonight, I'm going to tell you how to sell yourself. And that is one of the hardest things to sell. Some of you guys might be in sales. You used to sell them. But the most important thing to learn how to sell is to sell yourself. And the way that you do that is through story selling. And I came up with Wayne's 7 secrets to selling. It's my secret sauce. And I was in the kitchen last night, and I was cooking up some spaghetti sauce, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is it. This is my secret sauce to selling. So I just want you to take a deep breath and just breathe it all in, because you guys look a little uptight. Just relax. Have a good time tonight. And I'm going to give you something that you can take home, that you can use every day, okay? Because we all need to use something every day. You can wake up every morning and you can use this every day. So here we go. Is it on? All right. This is a sales presentation, so it's not like a regular speech. Bear with me. All right, here we go. We have about 10 minutes, so I'm going to try to get through this in 10 minutes. And that's not a long time, especially for me, because I love to talk a lot. All right, here we go. So the first thing that you should do, right, when you're selling yourself, the number one thing that you have to do every day, because when we walk around, we're a poster board, we're an advertisement, right? This is our brand that we're selling, okay? Everything, when you wake up in the morning, you get dressed so beautifully, like right here, like you just so beautiful. I can't even think of her name. She took my words right out of my mouth. Barbara. That's a billboard. She's selling herself, right? But this is what you need to have when you encounter someone every time that you sell yourself, okay? Number one thing you need to have is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. Can you see that? All right, and that means being motivated. So I see so many people all the time, whenever they encounter people, they always kind of lack, their enthusiasm is always down. And you can tell the difference between when you're enthusiastic and when you're not, and how people perceive you. If you walk in front of someone who's like, hi, my name is Wayne, I'm here, you got your head down, or you're just kind of monotone, you don't show a lot of energy, well, that automatically just kind of detracts how people are perceived about you. So if you come into yourself and you're selling yourself with enthusiasm and you're motivated, then that's going to motivate someone else. So right off the bat, having that motivation, having that energy, okay, it's going to really just, like an icebreaker, it's going to change the way that other people feel. Because you've never seen anyone try to sell you something or try to be in front of you and give you a presentation without having that energy, that motivation, right? That enthusiasm for life. Okay? Next thing we need to have is engagement. I see all the time, and I am the #1 observer of people because I do it for a living. They always get in front of someone, right? But there's no engagement. They're looking at their phone. You don't have eye contact. You're not listening intently. You're not listening. So the next thing you need to have is engagement. You need to engage whoever that you're talking to, whoever that you're presenting. It needs to be a level of engagement, right? And what does that mean? You're focusing on, you're being intent, you're living right there in the present moment of that person or that group or that crowd that you're with. That's number 2 of the secret sauce, is intention. Okay? So you might want to write this stuff down if you haven't already. The next biggest thing to Wayne's secret sauce, the 7 steps of storytelling, is relationships. Now to me, this is where I think I do the best right here, is that I build relationships. And it doesn't have to be that long. It doesn't take a long time to build a relationship with someone, with the person that you're with. If you're enthusiastic, if you're engaged, that next step of building a relationship is going to be really, really easy. Now, if you ever go to Chick-fil-A, you see how they do it. They build a relationship with you in the drive-thru. It's by, they ask you a question, what can I do for you? They take your order, and then they tell you what your order is again. They repeat it back to you. Is that all we can do for you? They build a relationship. They're always smiling. They're always engaged from the start when you're there all the way through until you get your food. Thank you. That's a relationship through that sale. Now you can build a relationship through a longer sale by talking to someone, engaging with them, and then doing the next thing that you're going to do is, and this is mainly, and let me go back, this is mainly the questions that you ask people is going to build that relationship. Simple question, how are you doing today? How are you feeling? Okay, and then you give a question that is open-ended, so they have to tell you how they're feeling. I'm feeling fine. I feel good. Okay, so that's that third thing, is building that relationship, is the questions. Now you're going to move to the storytelling or story selling. Okay, so this storytelling, story selling is where you're going to really get into the sauce, because now you're going to be really talking about how this applied to you, how this made you feel, how this changed your life. Okay? I always talk to my patients because I'm a therapist, and I tell them what happened to me and how I felt. Like when I broke my leg or I had Achilles tendon, man, I remember laying up at home, I was feeling depressed, I was in a wheelchair, I didn't really know how to cope with it. So you tell a story about something that happened in your life, you bring people into your life, you become vulnerable, okay? And then that is the way to build that relationship, and you're telling a story. So every day we live our lives, we're actually living a story that we're telling, okay? What happened yesterday, you can talk about it. You can tell someone what happened. And then you'll notice when you start to open up and tell your story, other people, they're going to start telling their story, okay? And then that's how you're going to build that relationship, and you're going to go the storytelling and story selling part. Now we're going to go into the owning. And for a lot of people, this is really hard. Sometimes we can get through the enthusiasm, the engagement, the relationship, and we have the storytelling, but we never own up to what we have. And to really sell yourself, you have to own up to who you are, okay? Who are you? Ask yourself that question, who am I? And then once you know who you are, then it's going to be so much easier to really talk about all the things that you want to give and you want to add value. So you're discussing the value of what you're selling, okay? Well, who are you? What value can you bring to someone else? What have you done in your life that you can transfer that value to someone else, okay? So every day, I try to find out how I can give value to someone else? What can I do today to add value to that person? All right? So, and you're asking yourself, okay, well, how can I add value? Just being who you are. Who are you? Being genuine. Opening up yourself. Maybe taking a little time to call that person to see how they're doing today. Anything that you can do to transfer what you have in your life, you can transfer it to them and add value to their life. The next thing is you want to ask for the sale, okay? So how does that apply to your life? You ask for the sale. So whatever it is, and whoever you are, you want to ask for it. If you want it, you ask for it. Rachel, how are you doing today? Great. You know, how can I help you? Oh, I need help with this. Okay, you go help that person. You know, and then how can I help you? Then that question is asking for it. I want to help you. You asking for the sale. And when you do that, then that person is going to be able to relate to you. They're going to buy into what you're doing. Does this all make sense? Is it too fast? This is the secret. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 15 years or more, pretty much all my life. And it's worked every time. That's how I engage with people, is I go through this process mentally of selling myself. And the next step is one of the most important steps that people leave out as well, is what they don't do, is they don't follow up and they don't follow through. If you meet someone and that's your friend, you're not going to just meet them for one time and you're never going to call them back. But a lot of times in our life, we meet people and we never follow up and follow through with them. Call them 3 days later. Call them a week later to find out how they're doing. That's one of the most important things, and that creates a sales funnel. And what happens is when you follow up and follow through, they're going to take this and they're going to move it all the way back up, and they're going to be enthusiastic and motivated because you did something for them to help them, and then they're going to turn around and they're going to help someone else. Does anybody have any questions about that? Do you like the sauce? Do you think it'll work for your life? And that's my presentation for the night.
Thank you, Wayne. Boy, isn't that what we're here for tonight? And whenever we get up in front of a group and we're doing a presentation,